Alright, so this is my 100th video on this channel. So I thought I'd do something a little different. I'm gonna kind of doing something that Chris Stuckman did a long time ago, explaining why I love movies and why movies are so special to me, I guess. Um, so I'll give you a quick backstory on me and my love for movies. So it all started when I was 4 years old. My dad had me watch the original Star Wars films and those movies, and later on watching the Indiana Jones movies. I really loved watching them, and I wanted to know more about them. So I watched bonus features of how they made them, and just seeing how they made movies uh, got me so interested in it, and I wanted to learn how they did all kinds of different effects, and got me really into it. And I loved coming up with stories, and I just always wanted to work in movies. And when I was about 13 is when I really started getting into classic films and all these, learning about different types of movies. And ever since then, it's been one of my favorite things. Um, so I narrowed it down to 6 main reasons why movies are the best thing in the world. Alright, and I'm gonna use some clips from this video, 1001 movies to see before you die. Check it out, it's a pretty cool video. A lot of time and effort spent into it. And then I'm gonna play some clips from other movies that I like. So the number one being it's multiple forms of art all put into one thing. You got there's many kinds of forms of art. There's photography, um, acting, writing, music, and it basically puts all these different kinds of art into one thing. It's basically photography that moves, so cinematography. It's kind of its own thing. Um, but then you have acting, just as people act on stage, and then you have people writing the stories as people would write a book. Then you have costume designers, you know, people in fashion, and people make sets and props and effects. And then there's editing, which is kind of its own thing. And then you got people that design, make the sound effects and the music, and all these things can make a movie great. Some movies may just have one of these things that is really great about it, but great movies, all these things come together um, to make it good. Because with photography, nothing against photography, but a good picture um, can be taken by just a good photographer. But a good movie has to have a good director, good actors, good cinematographer, good editor, uh, good costume designer, good uh, I don't know, composer, all these things to make a great movie. And so yeah, so the number two reason is it's so vast. The amount of films are out there. There's a ton of great films out there, and there's even movies that aren't great but are interesting and worth watching, even though they're not perfect. They maybe just one thing about it was very interesting, and like the rest of the film wasn't. But there's so much that you don't get with other um, kinds of art. I mean, you do with some, but you have all these different kinds of genres, from horror movies to comedy movies to sci-fi movies to just drama. But then you have uh, hot, like really big budget Hollywood movies to little independent movies to art house films to movies trying to appeal to everybody to movies for small groups of people, and you got films from the 20s to movies that are coming out now, and there's just so much, and they're all so different, and I enjoy almost all of these different types of movies as long as it's done well. You know, you can never get bored of movies because there's just so much. It's not like they're all the same, because even though there's plot structure and stuff and certain things that make movies good, um, there's just so much out there that they're all different. Um, of course, some are ripping each other off. But anyways, um, yeah, these movies bring people together, and that would be the number three reason, because for the most part, most movies, you know, aren't very political. They might have like social commentary, but usually it's nothing. They're not hating on one group of people. They don't bash a group. It's movies. It doesn't matter what your religious standpoints are, um, political standpoints. Everyone can enjoy a movie for the most part. I mean, there's few out there that are, very that push an agenda or whatever it may be. But for the most part, the majority of movies, they might have like a lesson in there, but they don't, they're not highly political or whatever. And so anyone can watch them, and you can have conversations about them, and you can go to a movie with anybody, and you can go and talk about it, and you can talk to your friends with it, and so everybody can just go and enjoy the movie. So number four, um, there's so much history and information out there about movies. It's like even if I'm not watching a movie, I'll watch something about a movie because movies have been around for like over 100 years now, and so there's so much to learn about. And then you learn about how they made them. That's what really got me interested. Um, so much behind the scenes, and then you can learn about directors. Learn about Stanley Kubrick. That guy is a very weird guy, but a genius. You know, and then after you watch a movie, there's tons of information just about the one movie. Um, you can see what other people's analyses are. Explaining things. There's so much. I'm gonna try to make this go a little faster. So number five is their thought. It's kind of a bunch of things lumped into one, but they're thought provoking. They teach us lessons, and everyone sees them differently. Because even though they are entertaining, they always have. There's always a deeper meaning to pretty much every movie. Um, they're not just like. I mean, for some movies, yeah, there's just explosions, but there's always usually something more, even in action movies, And and for the most part, most movies you can talk to someone about it, and no one's gonna ever have the same opinion about the movie. I mean, two people will like it, but they can like it for two completely different reasons, um, and maybe notice something that you didn't notice, or you notice something that they didn't, and so you know it's really cool like that. And the number six is they're just entertaining. Um, when it really comes down to it, you can just sit and watch a movie and have a have a fun time. If you're bored, if you're sad, uh, if you're going out on a date, you can. A movie's something everyone can enjoy and like. So basically, it basically comes down to movies are something everyone enjoys, and there's so much to learn about them, and there's so much you know behind them that they're just so fascinating, and it makes you want to watch all different kinds of movies. So watch movies you never thought you might watch, and just go out there and explore things. Because movies are a really cool thing. So that's all I gotta say about that.